This is an AVNation special, one-on-one with Just Add Power's Ed Qualls. It's Tim Albright with AVNation with an AVNation special, sitting down with Ed Qualls from Just Add Power. Welcome, Ed.
Thank you, Tim. How are you doing today?
I am well, sir. I wrote an article over the summer because I got a chance to hang out with you, your fantastic family, your group there in Tampa. Got to visit your new facility in Tampa. I say new, relatively new. You guys purchased it about three years ago and rehabbed it. But one of the things that I came away with was an understanding that I didn't know the Just Add Power story. Right? I've connected with Taft Strickland, who has the best hair in the AV industry. I say that as somebody who is trying to chase him on the hair, but I knew Taft, right? And I had met you, right? We had, but I never knew the story. Real briefly, tell folks who don't know the story how you came to found Just Add Power 30 years ago.
Go back a few decades. At the time, I was working at IBM, and I had done a variety of jobs. My career there took me through administration, systems engineering, marketing, and I ended up in their market development group. And one of the things that frustrated me was the IBM's internal mindset. The way they train people was they'd say, here's what's supported and what's not supported. And they would not hesitate when someone said, can I do this? They'll say, that's not supported. And that was frustrating me because when I hear a customer wanting to do something, that tells me they're willing to spend money on it. So instead of saying that's not supported, I want to turn to them, oh, sure, I'll figure out how to do it. We'll make it all work together. Just plug it in, just add power, and it's going to work. So I coined that phrase when I was still at IBM and created a few products within the IBM company, blending in some outside products. One of them was a microscope with a camera connected to a computer for doing science work. And we were selling microscopes at IBM along with a PC and a digitizer. And I would bring in these ideas to the administrator, and she would look at them and say, Ed, this is just another one of your money-making schemes. Guilty. I like to create money-making schemes. So that Just Add Power mindset, when I got the opportunity to leave IBM and start my own company, I brought it with me because I think that's how you find the customer's goals, objectives, and needs, and figure out how to fulfill them.
So when you started Just Add Power, one of your first client base, I guess, was your education market, right? And also house of worship, right? Churches and stuff like that. One of the things that came out of that, and I'm kind of putting words in your mouth, so I'm going to let you talk for a second, but you had the idea that the customer, especially the house of worship market and those K-12 education facilities, don't have a whole lot of money, right? They get it in bits and spurts, right?
Well, it's in waves. They may get a technology grant, and that's supposed to last like 8 years. And in an industry where computers are changing overnight, order of magnitude. So, they're really often hobbled by just how their funding flows. When they get money, especially in schools, it can be good money, but they don't consistently get it.
So your philosophy was to make sure that their technology can last a long time. Talk for a second about how that drove one of the most fascinating aspects of Just Add Power to me, which is the fact that if I purchased a Just Add Power device, an AV over IP device 10 years ago, you're still supporting that device. You're still updating that firmware. What was the thinking behind that?
We're still making new compatible devices that they can plug into that 10-year-old system. It's just came from growing up, even my childhood of, being a good steward and being thrifty. I just don't like to waste. And I don't like the thought of making something and in 2 years it throws into landfill. Like I can't stand our phone industry, the way they're constantly churning and forcing us to have to get a phone because they destroy the old one. I'd be happy with my BlackBerry from 15 years ago if they would let it work.
And I'd be happy with my Palm phone. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, I had a Palm Pilot too.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was my favorite phone for a long. Anyhow, but one of the things that and I want you to talk about this for a second because in my mind, the AV industry, from K-12, higher education, certainly corporate now with ESG and the environmental concerns, this is something that green AV part is something that the industry and the customers have been asking for over 10 years. This to me, and I'm putting words in your mouth here again, so I want you to correct me. You were looking at it from a customer service standpoint and making sure that the products were working well beyond what competitors were. I also see that because you mentioned something there. If when it goes out, when it goes bad, when it ends up live, it ends up in a landfill. That customer service part is also a sustainable part, right? It's a sustainable model because you can purchase a Just Add Power product and it can last you well beyond what a comparable one may last you because of that upgradability.
That, and a lot of companies, they think the word warranty means end of life. When end of warranty is that's not how it is. I'm a little eccentric, but I'm driving 60-year-old cars, and they're way out of warranty. None of my cars are under warranty, but I know how to support and maintain and sustain them.
One of the things that I learned while I was in Tampa at your facility was also the continued education, right? Like Just Add Power, just because you purchased one 10 years ago, you guys are continuing to upgrade and continuing to refresh. You guys also have an education portion of your business. Talk for a second about the importance of educating, obviously not just your integrators, but also the installers and the people that are in the field, maintaining and commissioning these systems.
Well, I'm a strong believer in the importance of being a lifelong learner. I serve on a board of trustees for a university, University of Indianapolis. I believe in education. And one of the first things when we got the company taken off with AV over IP was I realized right away, these people need to be educated. So we have come up with all sorts of offerings. We have independent study classes. We have webinars if they want more interactive. And then we have a 3-day class where we bring them out and host them here and treat them like royalty while they're getting to learn these skills that are not intuitive.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at the marketplace, and you look at some of your direct competitors, and your dealers are talking with a client. Let's say it's a K-12 or it's a higher education, it's a university somewhere, and they're trying to decide between one company or another. Why should that customer? Why should that university technology manager decide to go down the Just Add Power route?
Being able to discern what is good value, because there's a difference between price and value. And one of the things you already hit upon in our value is our proven track record. Once you get this, you're going to get to use it long time. And while that may not be appealing to the shareholders of a venture capital group, that's not who I'm interested in serving. None of those people are involved with me. So I can focus on making my customers happy instead of stockholders happy.
So really quickly, talk about that. What does, I mean, you mentioned early on when you were at IBM, you like making, you creating money-making schemes, right? The sustainable model doesn't feel like that. So what, it's kind of crass, but what does Qualls, what does Just Add Power get out of doing that model about making clients happy?
I think we haven't even seen the tip of the iceberg as to how far this technology can go and what can be done with it. And so I'm not worried about there not being enough business. And that's where I think convincing, getting the customers to understand why we are the best value. We have the most features. No other AV or IP company can do everything we do. And I will be glad to have a shootout and a showdown with anyone who thinks they can.
All right, very good. Ed, if somebody wants to find out about you, about your super secret bat cave, which I was fascinated by, but in all seriousness, about Just Add Power, how do they do that, sir?
It's real simple. Go to justaddpower.com. You can hit contact on our website, or we're on all the social medias, whether I like them or not.
Different conversation, different time.
Yeah.
All right.
Hate to bring up religion. Yeah.
No, yeah. You almost did there with the socials. All right, Ed Qualls, thank you so much. For AVNation, go by our website, avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv. Find more interviews like this and a host of others, including our countdown to ISE. We'll probably see Ed in Barcelona for ISE 2020.
Oh, I'll be in Barcelona. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. All that and more at AVNation.tv. It's AVNation.tv.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
This is AV.
This
is AV Nation.
This is AV Nation.